Hi, it's Lisa, and in this video I'm going to show you setting a baseline. Here I am in Microsoft Project. I've got a project in front of me, and I feel like I'm ready to go. The project is finished, at least in its planning stages. So in other words, I've got the tasks, I've got the durations, I've made sure that the project and all tasks are in task mode automatically scheduled, and I have linked all the tasks. You can see that in the predecessor column and also in the Gantt chart. You can see the arrows, and of course I've added my resources. So one thing you may want to do is set a baseline. And really when you set a baseline, it's like taking a picture of all of these different dates. And what can happen, of course, is that the project can change over time. It might expand or contract. You might have to change some of the dates. There might be, a power outage, so you lose a couple of days of work, and the project gets pushed out to a later launch date. So when you have that happen, you can compare the actual dates to your original plan dates. But again, to take a snapshot of those plan dates, you can set a baseline. So this button here is in the ribbon under Project, the Project tab, and over here Set Baseline. And of course this is all in the book. And this is what the book tells you to do. It says, okay, go to Set Baseline, click the Set Baseline button. Here it is. It says Set Baseline. It's going to go into baseline. You can actually have a bunch of different baselines that you can set all the way up through 10. But I will just leave it on the default baseline, and then I'm going to click OK, and it does it. Now, when you do this for the first time, you're left wondering, okay, did anything happen? You don't have any sort of visual confirmation. So I'm going to undo. Up here on the Undo button, I'm going to undo the set baseline. And I'm going to start again, and I'm going to show you how you can get that visual confirmation to feel confident that yes, it did work. I did indeed set a baseline. What I want to show you is a different table. Now you know that if you come to this thin gray strip here, you can right-click and change views. This is how I go to, for example, the resource sheet view, or right-click and go back to Gantt chart. Now some of you might use the View tab to do this. So here's Gantt chart up here, and I can click the down arrow and switch here. But in addition to views, there's also tables. This little secret gray square right here, if I right click here, I can get a list of the tables, and the tables are like little spreadsheet parts of the view. So by default I'm on the Gantt chart view, but I'm on the entry table, and I'm going to switch to a different table. I'm going to go to the one called variance. There's a couple of these that'll work, but variance is one of them. And the reason is the variance table has the baseline start and baseline finish. And notice that right now they're NA, 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 because I have not yet taken the baseline. I mean, I did earlier, but I undid it. So what's fun to do is to temporarily just switch to this table. It won't matter. Switch to this table where you can actually see the baseline start and finish columns. Then take your baseline, because then you'll get that visual confirmation that it worked. So watch, I've got these here. They're NA because I haven't set a baseline. I'm going to go up to Project, Set Baseline again, and watch what happens when I click OK. Boom! All those dates get populated. And really what it did is it took all these planned start and finish dates and it just copied them over here. So it took a little photograph, so to speak. Now, if I go back, and let's say I'll go back to the entry table, and let's say I make some changes, like whoops, it really, even plan changes. I could change actuals as well, but let's say I change the interview. It really took 3 days. The design content really took 7 days. The design wireframe took 3 days. In other words, I make changes, and there could be all sorts of changes to resources, all sorts of things. So now my project is ending on the 12th. And if I were to go to one of those tables, like the variance table, I can see and compare the baseline, which was 12/6. Originally, my planned idea was that the project would finish on the 6th, and now it's now scheduled to end on the 12th. So that's one reason for baseline, and that's one way that you can get that visual confirmation in Microsoft Project. That's it. And now I'll switch back to the entry table, and I can continue working. That's it.